A Shawnee Mission Middle School student is helping to keep the memories of Pearl Harbor alive. An infectious chicken dance tries to inoculate elementary students against bullying. We'll check out how a high school program is working to make life easier for freshmen. And how are school cafeterias getting healthier? The Shadow knows, and you'll find out coming up on this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Welcome to Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. I'm your host, Leanne Neal. They're part of the greatest generation, but time is taking its toll on the veterans of World War II. Now, an Indian Hills Middle School student is doing something to help everyone remember those who fought for our freedom.
Will you now please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of those who lost their lives on the attack on Pearl Harbor?
Quinn Appletoft was in kindergarten when he attended his first Pearl Harbor commemoration. Now this 8th grader is leading the ceremony.
The attack at Pearl Harbor was a surprise naval attack by the Japanese against the United States Navy, which occurred on December 7, 1941 at 7:55 a.m.
More than 200 students of history of all ages crowded into the Sylvester Powell Jr. Community Center in Mission to look at memorabilia from World War II and hear first-hand accounts of the attack from the 4 remaining Kansas City area survivors.
It was then I saw the planes coming in. They were so low, they had their canopies open, and you could see the grin on their face, and you could clearly see they were Japanese.
Lieutenant State TA system come on and said, air raid Pearl Harbor. This is no drill, all hands man your battle station. Boom. So when I broke out on the main deck, I seen this Japanese torpedo plane already about 100 feet from our ship, heading right for us. So we got up in the main, but we couldn't shoot. So I had a ringside seat for the whole thing, which I didn't really want.
3 years ago, the veterans who organized this event said it was getting to be too much for them.
They were going to stop doing it, but instead me and my dad stepped in to keep it going so that all they'd have to do is show up. So today is just all about them. We'll hope some people can learn more about Pearl Harbor.
More than 100 students from Indian Hills Middle School and Highlands Elementary School were among those soaking up history from those who helped create it.
This makes it such a valuable experience to tie it to the textbook. It's not just words on a page, it's a real live event with people that they can really connect to.
There's only a few of them left, and we get to really hear it from the people that were there and how it really was.
It just gives me more of an understanding and appreciate what they've done for our country more.
And I went out and I looked up, and as I was looking, an aircraft came down the main road, and I'd say the altitude was probably 150, 200 feet, and they didn't even look at our temporary wooden barracks. They were shooting for the main barracks. And they did hit the dining hall where most of the airmen were killed.
So someone asked me later if I was scared. I said, yes, I was scared. Did you run? No, but I passed some people that were running.
It kind of feels like I'm real close to living history, that these people are actually there. It's not something that you read out of a textbook about what people thought about that. This is what actually happened.
Quinn's father hopes the veterans' stories make an impact on the students.
Hopefully, maybe an understanding that there's history walking among us, not just these Pearl Harbor survivors, but there are Vietnam vets or just older people that have a lot of experiences that we can learn from, and also maybe pique an interest in history.
The great rallying battle cry at home was remember Pearl Harbor. You remember that? Remember Pearl Harbor. Well, Quinn, thanks to your efforts, we are remembering Pearl Harbor, and we want to continue to remember Pearl Harbor as long as men and women are walking free in this great country of ours.
In recognition of his efforts, Quinn was named an honorary member of Kansas City's Pearl Harbor Survivors Association. Recently, a teacher at Santa Fe Trail got called to the principal's office, but it wasn't for what she thought. We'll explain why they tricked her. Plus, some Shawnee Mission East upperclassmen reach out to freshmen. Find out why when we return.
Hi, my name is Ariana Williams and I'm a 4th grader at Rosehill Elementary School. The book I am reviewing is Home of the Brave by Catherine Applegate. The main character is Ket. Ket comes to America from Africa after his village is attacked by government soldiers. His dad and brother are killed, but he and his mother survive. They then go to refugee camps and are later separated. In America, Ket makes friends with a girl in foster care and an old lady and her cow. Will Keck ever see his mother again? Read the book to find out. I rate this book 5 out of 5 stars. Read it.
Welcome back. Santa Fe Trail Elementary's principal recently played a trick on one of his third-grade teachers. Steve Vandemark told Lindsay Frazier he wanted to talk to her about a student. But when she got to his office, the phone rang, and it was for her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a great honor for you. It's a great honor for your kids, the school, and the district, that's for sure.
Wow, I am speechless.
The surprise call from the Kansas Department of Education notified Frazier that she had been selected for the Horizon Award, which honors exemplary first-year teachers. But the surprises weren't over. Students and staff were waiting in the gym to offer their congratulations.
Once you complete your first year of teaching, you can have your name submitted to the state of Kansas. Ms. Frazier, I'm not about to put you on the spot and ask you to say anything unless you want to.
If there was an award for a 4th and a 5th and a 5th and a 6th and a 7th year teacher, I mean, our school would be filled with them. So it's really the best school, and it's really an honor to work here with everybody. So I'm very honored, and I appreciate everybody's help and support in all this. So thank you so much.
The Horizon Award is given to 4 elementary and 4 secondary teachers in 4 regions across the state for a total of only 32 honorees each year.
All along I've said there may be somebody in the state who is as deserving, but nobody more deserving with what she does, not only for our community, but also for our staff as a staff member.
I think the most important part of education is developing relationships with your students first. Once you do that, I think the kids want to learn. They want to do good for you because they love to make you happy, and it feels good to them inside whenever they achieve success.
Frazier's students say her Horizon honor is well deserved.
Because she's probably the best teacher in this whole school. She's the nicest one.
It felt so right to be in education. I'm very happy. It's the best decision I've made in my entire life.
In addition to the impromptu assembly, Santa Fe Trail arranged a special reception a few weeks later to more formally honor Frazier. Studying for finals can really be stressful, especially if you're a freshman. But a program at Shawnee Mission East is trying to take the sting out of studying. A warm cup of cocoa and cookies were the fuel for a final study session for freshmen, hosted by Shawnee Mission East's Link crew.
Well, basically we are just helping the freshmen study for finals because this is their first experience with finals, and we're all juniors and seniors, and so we've all kind of been down this path before.
The afternoon let the youngest Lancers ask questions of upperclassmen, get some study tips, and prepare for exams ranging from biology to Greek mythology.
And we're trying to help out the freshmen with their first finals because it can be very stressful, and we figure we've been through it quite a few times.
Link Crew is our freshman transition program that we have here at East. We are now in year 3, and we started it really to help freshmen adjust to come from middle school to high school and make that a smooth transition.
And who better to advise these young students than peers who have walked in their shoes?
They're really worried about the schedule changes and how hard the classes get in high school, and then the upperclassmen, they're really intimidating. So that's why having juniors and seniors as Link Crew leaders helps them a lot.
Link leaders are matched with 5 to 10 incoming freshmen before the school year begins. Then the upper class students mentor the freshmen throughout the school year.
Well, I'm from a private school, and so I didn't know very many people when I came here. And so I met a lot of people from Link Crew. They said that you need to study and definitely be prepared and have all your supplies together and all for when finals come.
If you're studying by yourself, sometimes you'll have troubles, but since you've got all these other people, both upperclassmen and people who have the same classes as you you can have other resources besides just you or your parents.
Pence says now that the program has been around a few years, she has lots of students volunteering because they remember how helpful the Link crew was when they were freshmen. What can you learn from a Band-Aid chicken? Up next, a lesson one elementary school hopes its students carry with them for life. Students put a new twist on a familiar tune to help an anti-bullying message stick. Welcome back. I don't want to be a bully, I don't want to be a target, don't join, get along. That's the message echoing through the halls at Rosehill Elementary these days, after about 100 kindergartners treated the entire school to a performance with a purpose.
How many of y'all ever been picked on? Did you know that there's a pecking order among chickens?
Farmer Lawrence's important question got things hopping in the barnyard. Next, it was time for the kindergartners to share the tale of the Band-Aid chicken.
Once upon a time on Mr. Lawrence's farm, there lived 550 chickens. One day, Mr. Lawrence put a new little chicken inside the fence. This chicken did not have a family. She was hoping to make some friends soon, but before she could even say hi, all the other chickens started pecking on her head.
It teaches a lesson about the pecking order in a chicken yard and how new chickens are often picked on. And so we just want to playfully get the message across to kids that this is not okay.
So Farmer Lawrence bandaged the little chicken's head and gave her a new nickname.
I think I'll call you the Band-Aid chicken.
But when it was the Band-Aid chicken's chance to peck at a new chicken, she didn't follow the other's lead.
No, I want this pecking to stop with me. I remember how bad it felt when you did it to me, how much it hurt my head and my heart. No, I won't do it.
It's a message that resonated with these pint-sized performers.
It's about it's about chickens who wanted the chicken not to be bullied.
Well, it's certainly a fun way, and especially with kindergartners performing the play, I think it's very light, but still has an important message. So I think that oftentimes is more helpful to get a message across to the kids than just a teacher presenting the same information.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
After each performance, social worker Vicki Love helped connect students with the real-life lesson at the heart of the Band-Aid chicken.
I began with defining bullying because a lot of times I don't think we're all in agreement on what bullying is. And then we talked about what each student could do if they were being bullied.
Are y'all gonna just do what everybody else does? Or are you gonna be like the Band-Aid chicken who had the courage to stop bad behavior and help make her world a better place?
To reinforce the Band-Aid chicken's message, each assembly concluded with a rousing rendition of the special chicken dance performed by everyone in attendance. In Shawnee Mission, helping students eat healthier is an ongoing process. Up next, The Shadow finds out how food services is working to improve what's on the menu.
Hi, I'm Kristen. And I'm Shannon. We go to Sunflower Elementary. We read the book Elijah of Buxton by Christopher Paul Curtis. Elijah Freeman was the first freeborn child born in Buxton, Canada. Throughout the book, Elijah gets into many different situations, whether they're funny or serious.
Then the biggest situation of all happens. Elijah's friend earns enough money to buy his wife and 2 kids out of slavery.
But a well-known citizen of Buxton takes the money and runs off with it. Elijah is then sent on a treacherous mission to catch the thief and retrieve the money.
Will Elijah get the money back, or will the traitor get away with it? We rate this book 4 out of 5 stars because of the adventure and suspense.
Read it.
Welcome back. If you are what you eat, then Shawnee Mission students should be getting healthier because they're being served healthier fare in the school cafeteria. Recently, I sat down with the district's Director of Food Services, Nancy Kokenauer. My first question, how did the district's focus on wellness begin?
It was a focus with USDA, and it started in 2006. They made a directive United States wide that we were required to develop a wellness plan and a policy within each school district. And here in Shawnee Mission, we chose to do it through a committee where we have numerous parents that have different health backgrounds that contribute to their knowledge and expertise. We have middle school and high school students, well as our district nutritionist, myself, and other key administrative people are on the committee. We meet 3 times a year. We evaluate where we currently are at and where we can make incremental changes to improve what we're trying to accomplish.
And I guess when you say what we're trying to accomplish, are there some overarching goals that the committee is trying to then take some action steps to achieve?
Every year we have action steps, and the committee is divided into 3 subgroups. Nutrition, which relates to the food end of it in food service. We have nutrition education, and we have physical activity, which is not only the PE component, but it's like the walking school bus that some of our kids do that every day, or the exercise that they might do in morning announcements that some of our elementary kids are participating in. So we have subcommittees, and we each work very hard towards making change.
Tell us about some of the things that you've done in food service to make the food more nutritious, or maybe have a better nutritional content and be more wellness focused.
Right. Back when the committee started, we identified that the deep fat fryers in our high school needed to be eliminated, and they were. About a year later, we identified that the carbonation in beverages and vending machines, as well as in our a la carte serving lines, needed to be eliminated, and specifically it was the soda products. So that has also been eliminated. We have been a big push on increasing our number of fresh fruits and vegetables, as well as just fruits and vegetables in general. And one of our pushes has been to allow the students to have unlimited amounts of fruits and vegetables. So if they really like them, we want to encourage them. If they don't like them, we'd like them to try 1 peach slice or 1 pear so that they'll at least try and say, yes, then I don't like it.
And what have you heard, I mean, what kind of feedback? Because, you know, those sound like some changes that, at least hearing them, children might say, oh my goodness. But what kind of, how did the students respond?
The first couple of years, the deep fat fryers were a problem in the high schools because those students became very accustomed to certain products. Now that they've been gone 4 or 5 years, those students don't know what they've missed, so that's really not been a problem from that perspective. As far as the soda and the carbonation, that really hasn't been an issue. We've replaced it with milk and juice and sport drinks, and so they still really don't notice that they've missed those products. We're finding actually that elementary students prefer raw vegetables than they do cooked vegetables, so we're transitioning to some of those interesting things with the students.
Student input is something that I know you strive to include. Tell us a little bit about how you're getting students involved in aspects of nutrition, menu planning, those kind of things.
Students are very, very important to what we do. If the students don't like the food, there's no point in us preparing the food. So we ask them to sample the foods, a recipe or a food product that we've tried from a vendor, comparing it with what we're currently doing versus what we want to do, getting their input. And it's not just one school, we go across the board, maybe 10 elementary schools, a middle, a high school, so we get a wide spectrum of students saying yes or no. We recently did a food tasting at Shawnee Mission North where they were tasting chicken tenders to compare those with our current brand to see if the students like the new brand or the old brand better. And at that particular school, they couldn't tell a difference.
Is that common, or do you sometimes find when you're doing the brand-to-brand testing, sometimes is there a distinct difference?
There is very distinct difference, although we never tell them the brand because we don't want them to be influenced by the brand, but we want to tell them that what is it current versus what's a proposed product and what do they think.
Did you also say that you do that if you're kind of trying to debut a new food item?
Absolutely, yes. And sometimes it works very, very well. Like last year we tested whole grain pastas and it flopped. None of the kids liked the whole grain pastas, so there was no point in us trying to switch over to whole grain pasta, so we stayed with the basic white pasta.
And what was a new menu item that we see now that maybe we didn't have before that was a huge, a hands-down winner by kids?
Shrimp poppers have been very, very popular. We tested a couple years ago, and we didn't think so, but they're coming in close to number 2 or 3 as the most popular item in our school food service program.
And the number 1 favorite?
Chicken nuggets.
You might be interested to learn that Shawnee Mission's Food Services is a self-supporting program. It must balance the cost to prepare and serve meals with the revenue it receives from students along with federal funding. There's a lot more information on nutrition and food services on the district website. Visit smsd.org, click on the Parents tab, and look for the Food Services link on the left. That's all the time we have for this episode of Spotlight on Shawnee Mission. Join us again as we continue to feature the programs and people of Shawnee Mission who are helping guide students to success. Thank you for watching.